Up YouTube, it's Buddha here with the SoHiYo crew. It's a cold, snowy day out here in Ohio. I figured I'd give this YouTube video thing a whirl because I've been getting a lot of homies hitting me up on Snapchat and on Instagram and on Facebook about how do we roll the backwoods up with the glass tips. It seems to be the most common question from all of my homies that are smoking woods right now or getting into rolling blunts and are preferring the backwoods and can't get them to roll right or can't get them to stick right. And there's a lot of methods out there. You know, there's a lot of videos out there. I don't know if this one's going to be any different or any more helpful. I hope it is. But if you can't seem to find it this way, I did check out one of my other homies, the CCC 420. They got a pretty cool method that they do with the packaging of the backwoods, and the method that they roll it seems to work out pretty good for them. I also saw a couple other cats that are doing somewhat similar techniques that I'm doing with the conical rolls. And, you know, like I said, I hopefully make something or say something that is the trick that you guys have been waiting on. So without further ado, check it out. A little OG, smelling great. First off is like amount of weed. Always good to have a little more than a little less. I'd say on average about 1.75 grams to 2 grams, upwards of 3 grams is a good backwood. Depending on the moisture level of the weed, really depicts whether you want to grind it up real fine or have a little bit more of a rough chop, if you will. This stuff is fairly moist, so I'm not going to grind it too much. Make sure you break out all the little end stems. Don't want those poking through your leaf. It's about good. So about, I don't know, pretty much a full grinder. And that's actually a little bit more fine than I'd have liked with this weed. So I'm gonna just hand break up a little more so it has some viscosity, somewhere for the air to pass through when you roll it up. Better. Alright, so a lot of people don't know, but backwoods could be a left hand roll or a right hand roll, depending on what comes out of the pack. The way that a backwood works, when they roll them in the factory, they actually roll it up like this, one long one, and they cut it in the middle, leaving you, for the most part, one going this way, one going this way. But in packs you'll find sometimes you'll have all this way and all this way. Seal them back up good so you don't get them stale. At least 2 folds like they recommend on the package. And then where you start the tear, I always like to fold in that corner once and then do a 3rd fold. Alright, roll your backwoods down, figure out where the end is on the mouthpiece end, not the rough end. Start unrolling. Go a little soft. Down here is the only place where there's glue on this, which is the only place we're going to stick it as well. A lot of people I saw licking the whole thing, and it's not really needed in the way this leaf is rolled. So, unroll it. Getting your weed, or getting your tobacco and your weed. Remember to take note of which way that you unrolled it, because that's the exact way you're going to roll it back up. So if it was like this and I started peeling here on the left side and I unrolled it like this, then I'm going to roll it up from right to left. Just make sure you, sometimes they come a little bunched up there at the end. Make sure you unroll it completely. There you go. Put your weed in. You want to start kind of making the shape that the backwoods was originally in. That's a fatty. Keep in mind you're going to need space for your tip at the end. This is pretty much the secret to it all. Getting all this packed down to the point where this end stays flat. So when you roll, kind of get your log going. When you roll down, you want to completely tuck that top flat. Don't worry about all this weed right now. Completely tuck that top flat, making sure that this end stays straight. You don't want to push the leaf over here, make it diagonal, because it's not going to roll right, or have it too far over here because it's not going to roll right. If you got this little corner piece of the leaf sticking out on the starting end, you need to readjust because it's not going to roll up properly. So we'll readjust here. Get some more weed down here at the end. I was playing around with it. Alright, roll down, line up, continue to roll. Pretty much does it yourself. Re-roll, shape it. Make sure you're staying pretty tight the whole way down. When you get towards the end, it's time to add your glass tip. I usually push most of it up. Start tightening it down because you got less weed. It's going to be smaller down there in a conical shape. Slide in your glass tip till you get to the weed. Push it in there a little bit. Sometimes I like, if it's ground up too fine, you'll push a bunch of weed into your filter and it won't be able to hit. So sometimes I like to just make sure I didn't do that before I finish the roll. Get it in there, make sure your tuck is good. And then just tighten that puppy around the glass tip so it doesn't fall out. And all we're going to do is lick right there at the end, like they did when they rolled it. There it is. SoHiYo Backwoods. If you like what you saw, like and subscribe, comment down below. Gonna be doing some more tutorials, joints, swishers, Garcia Vegas, Dutchies, the whole nine. If you want to see it, shoot me a comment, let me know. Peace.